Welcome to today's lesson of Waltz of the Snowflakes, which is Scene 9 of the Nutcracker by Pyotr Tchaikovsky. There's sheet music to accompany this tutorial, which I'll leave a link to down in the description box below, as well as a link to where you can hear the recording. And the recording page has all the pieces listed in alphabetical order by composer, so you're going to find this down by Tchaikovsky. First, we're going to learn the first section of the piece. We'll do this slowly, hands separately, hands together, and then I'll play once through the section at the speed it goes, which is pretty quickly. To find the correct note, let's first find middle C, go up an octave to treble C, and then we're on the G above treble C. We're going to place our fifth finger on this note, and the notes we're going to need in the beginning are going to be G, E, G with 5, 3, 5. Then moving down to F sharp and C sharp with 4 and 2. E and C with 3 and 1. E and B, but moving the hand down so it's 5 and 2. C and B flat with 4 and 2. B and G with 3 and 1. Moving your hand down to G and E with 5 and 3. We're going to do this 3 times. The fourth time it's going to be D sharp instead of E. And here is the rhythm. A 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. The left hand has chords. Let's start up around middle C. We have the B just below middle C along with E and G in the E minor chord. We're going to go down a step to an F sharp major. It's going to be all sharps, A sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. A minor, A, C, E. E major, G sharp, B, E. E, F sharp, C. Then E minor, E, G, B. G major, D, G, B. This is an A7, C sharp, G, A. A C7, C, G, B flat. A B7, B, D sharp, A. Another one just like it. We're going to end with an E minor arpeggio, starting with G with our second finger, tucking our thumb under to E, and down to B and E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, 3 and a 1, 2 and a 3, 1 and a 2, a 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And now at the speed that it really goes. Now entering part 2, this is where the children's chorus first comes in. You hear this melody. However, we're going to need to use different fingers when we play this because there's a second part that the right hand also plays. But those notes that I just played are going to be the loudest note that we play. And for the first few measures, we're going to mostly be using fingers 1 and 2 for these. So we're going to have heavy on the G and B and hold them, while lightly we play E, D, D. Going down to F sharp A, E, D, D, down to E, G, back up to F sharp A, then G, B. Moving the same fingers now over to B and D. Let's tackle these 8 measures before the second set of 8 measures. The left hand, we are going to almost always go down to G after playing a chord on measures, the first 5 measures of this. And then 6 and 7 will both have C's, and then the 8th measure will have D. So here's our first chord. Maybe I'll just go over the chords separately. This one goes down to G, down to G again. That one's also down to G. One more. Now after this chord, we're going to go down to C. Don't worry, we're going to go back around this once again with actually jumping, but this is just to learn the chords. Okay, now let's go back around. First measure is a G chord, down to G. These all happen on beats 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this chord where we have E in the thumb, this is when we go to C. And this one to D. And remember, the only thing that's going to be loud here is the thirds that we're playing, mostly with fingers 1 and 2 in the right hand. Everything else is quiet in comparison. And now just a tad bit faster. Not as fast as it really goes, but just a little faster than that. Now the next 8 measures are very similar. This is where it differs. After we go here, it doesn't do the E, D, D afterwards. Instead, you're going to hop over with the same fingers to B, D. And then we're going to do thirds down, starting with, if I talk about the top note, G, down a third to E, down a third to A or C, and then down a second to B. These ones, we're going to play E, D, D, and end with G. So here is the second set of 8 measures from the children's chorus. And this one here, actually, we don't need to cross under like we did in the first half of the piece. This one's just going to be a G major arpeggio moving downward. And now the B section a little faster. close out this piece with a reprise of the main theme. It will end slightly differently, but most of the music is going to be the same. And here is where it's different. When we play the last note E in the right hand, we're just going to start an E minor arpeggio in the left hand. So we'll play these E's simultaneously. Left hand's going to continue with B, E, cross over to the G. Then we're going to pick it up all in the right hand. We're going to start an E and do an arpeggio with the right hand. So on the E minor triads, E, G, B, plan for fingers 1, 2, 3 on both of them. So to get from one to the next, tuck your thumb under very tightly. Don't turn your wrist too much, just sort of hop sideways to E, open up your hand, and finish it out to the E. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on Waltz of the Snowflakes by Pyotr Tchaikovsky. Definitely check out the recording so you can hear this all the way through from beginning to end. And I'll see you again with another winter-themed classical piece of music very soon.